there are a lot of questions as far as how early on folks were warned as far as the potential for that really heavy rain. So I want to touch on a couple of points here from the National Weather Service in the Austin and San Antonio area. Beginning a week ago, last Sunday, the National Weather Service in San Antonio talked about the potential for heavy rain by the end of the week, again, largely in that 4th of July timeframe. By Monday, June 30th, there was more focus on the potential for warm nighttime rain processes based on kind of how the long-range models were starting to handle some of those different weather features. By Tuesday, July 1st, that flood potential was mentioned by the end of the week, again, specifically in the Hill Country. And then by Thursday, July 3rd, the first flood watches were issued in the afternoon around 1 o'clock. So you can already see that warning time. Yes, most of this was in the discussions from the National Weather Service offices in San Antonio and Austin, but still those discussions began a week ago. Now, with those warnings, which is what I'm going to touch on next, is just how fast warnings were issued. The initial flash flood watch for Kerr County was issued at 12:41 a.m. Again, that's a flash flood watch. That's different from a flood watch, and that was Thursday morning. In that flood watch, in that flash flood watch, isolated rain amounts of 10 inches were mentioned. And again, that was very early Thursday morning by the time those heavier rain bands had started to set up. A flash flood warning was issued for Kerr County at 1:14 in the morning on Friday, once again, with the potential for life-threatening flooding in that forecast discussion there. And then a flash flood emergency was issued around 5:30 Friday morning for Kerr County and the Guadalupe River. I remember voicing that on Good Day during the 5 o'clock hour because flash flood emergencies oftentimes are fairly rare. And so the fact that that was issued that early in the morning, again, an overnight nighttime rain event such as this, very scary, but the warnings were issued. Now, as far as implementing those warnings, again, that is still a question mark there. Now, for Central Texas, largely Burnett County, Travis County, Williamson counties, the initial flood watch was issued Saturday morning, very early in the morning at 12:41 a.m. And we started to see flash flood warnings issued a few hours after that, with flash flood emergencies in place as well. So there are going to be a lot of discussions coming out in the coming weeks and months and years as far as what exactly happened across the Hill Country and across Central Texas to create this catastrophic and deadly flood event. But hopefully this helps to clarify a few different points, especially when it comes to the different meteorological features in the atmosphere and those warning time frames across the Lone Star State from the National Weather Service offices, once again in San Antonio and in Austin.